Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Alice. We talk about books, so if you're looking for someone to stick on in the background whilst you make yourself a meal, clean your room, or do that thing you've been putting off for the longest time, then I'm your gal. So consider hitting that subscribe button, come on in, join the family. It is free and you can unsubscribe at any time. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. Let's get on with today's video. Today we're going to be talking about, drum roll please. Yes, we're back with Ali Hazelwood. Look, there it is, check and mate. As you guys know, the last one we read by her wasn't my favourite, okay? It's a very much an emotional roller coaster with me and Miss Hazelwood. We very much, sometimes we're on the same vibe, sometimes we're not, and that's okay, not every book's gonna be for everyone. But yes, I was definitely not in love, pardon the pun, haha, with the last book I read. I wanna go watch that. There's a video on my channel, so you can do that. But today we're gonna be talking about this one instead, Check and Mate. And spoiler alert, we very much enjoyed this one a lot more than the last one. So I'd say let's not beat around the bush today. Let's get straight in and let's get going. Time to bring in the trusty steed. Sorry, I can't sing too good. I'll get copyrighted. That's it. Here it is. I gave this book a 7 out of 10. Pretty high for a romance. That's about 3.5 stars. It wasn't quite a 4-star for me. I know my star system, rating system doesn't make sense at all, but I feel like it does at the same time. I think it was a good read. I enjoyed it. I gave it a 7 because there was only 3 things that I really felt I could deduct from. However, I wouldn't say it was quite a 4-star read because it had a few little moments that needed to be tweaked. Okay, so that's alright, that's alright. But given that I gave her last book a 4 out of 10, I know, spoiler, this one was a lot better. I gave this one half a chili. There was a little bit of spice in there. Honestly, I'm gonna be real right now. I read this quite a while ago. I've been filming some other videos on the go, so it's kind of been a little bit of a while in between reading and filming this. I don't feel it was particularly spicy, which made a nice change from the last one, and I think we're seeing a pattern. The less spice she writes, the more I enjoy it. So maybe it's something to do with that. I don't know. I think she's a very good writer. So if asked would I recommend this book, I'd say yes. Honestly, it was a fun romance. I like the chess world. It really, really, really made me want to rewatch The Queen's Gambit. If you haven't watched that TV show, what are you doing? What are you doing? It was a great time. Again, I watched this quite a few years ago, so I feel like maybe I'm due a rewatch anyway. But it definitely made me want to get back into that chess vibe, which I think is really cool. And I do like that each of the books are like slightly different themed. I know she's got a new, is it a swimmer one? I think that's quite saucy. I do still need to read Bride as well. But any other recommendations? I think I've read like the main chunk now. I think there's maybe one. I haven't read like a biology one, so let me know. But I'm pretty sure I've read the main like staple Ali Hazelwood's now. Shall we get into the review? Also, I feel like this keeps reflecting the light, so I'm gonna put it down. Respectfully, I'm gonna put it down, if that's okay with you. So I said this was a very enjoyable read, Miss Hazelwood. So snap the glass around. I thought it was very well balanced, and for once in my life, I pretty much liked all the characters, which is actually crazy. I just think they were well written. There were little bits and bobs here and there that weren't my favourite. For the most part, I feel like it was a very good, solid character base, and I enjoyed that. So that was pretty fun. There was also a little plot twist moments in there, which was also quite good. It wasn't anything like super, super crazy, but it was good. I did enjoy it. I did have a little thought like just beforehand, like, why do they keep mentioning this certain thing? But it was a good time. I still very much enjoyed the revelation of it all. I think what made me like this book more was it was more about a tension build rather than a spice. I think that's what I prefer a lot more when reading a book. I like tension. Obviously, we do eventually like a little bit of spice in there, but for me, I think it's the build up between the characters. I've got to have this connection between the characters, and I think that's probably why I enjoyed this one a lot more, is because it was mainly tension building. This was definitely refreshing from the last book I read, and also I'm reading a few other books at the moment, and they may or may not be a little bit spicy. So you have to stay tuned though. I'm not, no spoilers on what those are, but one of them is definitely gonna shock you guys. So I just feel like it gives you the opportunity to actually know the characters, and the more you understand and resonate with the character, I feel like the more you can connect with their story. So I just think it was done a lot better. As I told you guys before in the previous Ali Hazelwood book, I just did not like the characters at all. I couldn't stand them, so why did I want to read about them? Exactly. So this one I definitely felt a little bit more into their story. That being said, one reason we did lose a little bit of marks is I do still think that Nolan, the main male character, needed a little bit more development. I don't think it hindered the story too much, but I feel like every now and then maybe we just needed like a POV from him or a few more bits about him just to really understand him, really get the connection, because otherwise you've kind of got this whole, he meets this girl for the first time in his life, falls in love with her and is just trying to pursue her, and then that's weird, right? We don't want to think about it like that. So I don't know, I feel like he just needed a little bit more. Let me know if you agree in the comments down below, or you know, tell me I'm talking rubbish. I liked the layers in this book, so there was a lot of family elements, dynamics going on, and I did like that because I felt like it really built with the story. You had lots of elements. You had like secrets with the main character that were kept from her family and secrets with the other characters, so I feel like that was quite a nice touch in the book. The dynamic between the sisters was really nice to read. It kind of added that heartwarming but also a humour element as well, which was nice, so it kind of brought the book into a bit of a more whole package section. Like, I really don't know what to do with my hands. Look at me go. As I said at the start, I really enjoyed entering the world of chess. I thought that was really cool, and I just liked the vibe. It was a good vibe. As I said, it made me want to rewatch The Queen's Gambit, and I just liked how they talked about all these opening plays and end games, and I just thought that was really cool. I liked the context of this book, which I think then subsequently made me like the content more, if that makes sense. I honestly do think this could be the book I enjoyed most from her, because although I may say that some of the other ones were also really good and I did enjoy them at the time, I feel like this one had the whole package for me. It had the romance element, but also, as I said before, the other characters really made this whole dynamic, and I think it could be my favourite Hazelwood book. What's yours? Have you read many? Have you read them before? Let me know in the comments down below. I just feel like the characters had a little bit of a certain charm all the way through, which really made it easy to slip into the world, be a part of it, be immersed in it. And for me, that's something that really elevates a book to the next level. At first, I was a little bit sad by the vague ending. It was a little bit whatever, but after I thought about it for a little bit longer, I did come to appreciate this. But this was also part of the reason I marked it down, is because I do always want more. I know I am always that girl that says it just needs 50 more pages in the book. I just need a little bit more development, a little bit more in the world, and I just needed to know what was gonna happen, okay? Just needed to know. So personally for me, it was just a little too vague at the end, a little too vague. That being said though, the way she wrote it, it was quite cool. It kind of felt like, you know how you end a movie and you think, oh, it's over, and then it cuts to a future montage or something that happens after what we've seen. It did kind of feel like that in a book form, which I think is pretty cool to create. So that being said, although I personally wanted more, I do think that she did that in a very clever, creative way. So I will give her props for that. Yeah, basically, I just feel like Nolan needed a little bit more development. I feel like we just needed a little bit more from the book, and just the ending I could have had, you know, even more. So really, that was why I still gave this book quite a high rating for a romance book, because I just feel like it was pretty much the whole package. It just needed a little bit of fine tuning. But look, that's just a humble girl's opinion. Everyone's gonna have a different opinion, so it is what it is. All in all, it was a good romance book. I would recommend it because it was quite quick and easy to read. It'd be good if you were going on holiday or you were just taking some time to yourself to sit and read. This would be a perfect book for that. It was very consumable. It wasn't too heavy. Like, there were themes in there, and you know, as we always say, disclaimer, please check all trigger warnings before reading any book. This one, compared to some of the other ones, really didn't have as much of a heaviness. It was written quite light and there was a lot going on. So although there were things in there that I guess could be constituted as heavy, the book itself didn't feel like it was. Do you get what I mean by that? You know what I mean. It's definitely more YA, and you know, it's just a few spice mentions, nothing too major. I don't really know if it does fit in the category of YA because it does have these mentions but it's somewhere in between. So I definitely wouldn't say go looking for this book if you're looking for spice. If you want a nice romance with a little bit of something, nothing too wild in there, then this is a good one for you. All in all, it was just good vibes all round. And I actually wrote that I had no idea what to read next, but little did she know she was going to be having 2 books on the go. And some of her books that she wanted to read a sequel to came on 99p on the sale, so she's got a lot to read. The reading list is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's almost time to go home, and that's going to get even bigger because I've got so many books at home as well. Gosh, overwhelming. But anyway, I think that's it for today. I feel like I was in a little bit of a chill, weird mood vibe today, so sorry if that came across. You know, some days we're just not going to be like, it is what it is, it's a chilled day. Saturdays are for relaxing, for calming, for keeping ourselves nice and chill, so that's what we're doing. Anyway, let me stop rambling on. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Have you subscribed? Thank you. Thank you very much. And as always, until the next one, I'll see you then. Bye. Got my Valaris t-shirt on. Today we're going to be talking about drumroll. Oh, sorry, I just unveiled it. Anyway, nonetheless, I shall see you next week. Come on.